the Gorehound. I review the bloodiest things I can get my hands on. And welcome to a new segment on this channel I like to call Slaughter Scenario, where I take a look at some of the most darkest, most twisted, and goriest live-action films I can dig up on my end. The film I'm going to review today is one of the worst films I ever had to sit through. I almost don't want to review it because it's pure filth on all levels. But after arguing with myself over countless nights about it, I finally gave in. As much pain as it's going to cause me, let's watch Dark Divorce. But before we do, let's look at the director, Olaf Ittenbach. Take a long look at this guy. If you think you can probably make a better movie than this guy, 9 times out of 10, you'd probably be right. He's one of the many German gore filmmakers alongside Jörg Buttgereit and Andreas Schnaas, but unlike Schnaas and Buttgereit, Olaf's gore effects are a wonder to behold. The effects at times look almost real. It's astounding, really. Too bad the rest of it's a piece of shit. We start the film with various clips of violent footage, mixed in with someone running through a cornfield and a woman normally walking. 1 minute in, I already see something wrong. What the hell am I supposed to pay attention to with all these clips? Which ones I should say? All of them? For fuck's sake, man, have your credits over the actual movie itself, or better yet, don't show them at all! Holy shit, this credit sequence is still going? This sequence lasts for over 3 minutes, and I don't wonder in the least that Ittenbach is using this to pad out the rest of his 87-minute long feature. After that long credit sequence, we are wait. English. This is a German production, right? It is? Okay, just checking. Anyway, we see our main character, Natalie Stein, playing by Martina Ittenbach. Huh. Could it be? Nah. It can't be. He's not that dumb. Or is he?
In this moment, there were two choices for me. To give up, or to start a completely new life from the beginning. I chose the latter, and made this the day of my rebirth.
Yeah, English isn't her first language, is it? Not to poke fun at the woman, but everything she says is delivered with a dull, pale tone, like you're trying to read a children's story with a migraine. And another thing, why couldn't this be in German? For those who are asking the same questions I am, well, there's a little tidbit of explanation, just to fill in that gap.
When I look back at my life today, you could say everything was just like in a storybook. Well, almost everything. My parents, Sabine and Bernhard Stein, immigrated 15 years ago from Germany and settled in California. My father started a fast food restaurant, as if there weren't enough in America.
That's it? Is that all you can come up with, Ittenbach? You know you're just making my job a whole lot easier.
But he did it very well. Before long he was earning lots of money. The only problem was that I got pregnant at the tender age of 14.
In the same scene, we see her firstborn, Elizabeth, who's also of German descent. How do I know this? Take a look.
Orange juice.
In fridge where it always is?
Well, I am late. You could at least put it on a table.
The early riser's never late. You've heard it before. Put it to practice.
That's bullshit.
Don't talk to me like that. I'm not one of your girlfriends. Understood?
This is some of the worst acting I've ever seen! And I'm only 5 minutes in! Pray for me, people!
Besides my motherly duties, I continued with my profession as a lawyer.
Questions? How does a single mother find the time to become a lawyer when she was pregnant at the age of 14? More importantly, if she's a lawyer, why is she bitching and moaning about her husband, who she's divorcing, by the way? Why should she give a shit about him? Her job is secure. She's fine. At the rate she's bitching and moaning, she might as well be the next Tommy Wiseau.
What makes you say that?
Every word coming from this woman's mouth sounds like an abortion to the English language. You won't believe how much this movie is just her babbling on and on. Can you imagine what this review would be like if I actually sounded like that? Who would listen? And more importantly, who would care? I only have been griping about one of our mains in this flick, and oh joy! We get to meet our second main character, the husband, Tim, played by Barrett Jones. This woman's making this guy sound like a total asshole, and guess what? She's right! He took over her father's fast food chain of restaurants and drove it into the ground. So bad, in fact, that he's been reduced to cooking staff at a franchise that he used to own. Jesus, how incompetent can this man be?
Meanwhile, back with Natalie, the kids are ready to be picked up, but Tim runs a little tad bit late than usual. Then we see how harsh Natalie is on Tim.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
Sunday evening, 5 o'clock. If we're not on time, I'll call the police.
Okay, I'll be on time.
And Timothy, have a good time. It's one of the last.
Jeez, I know you're divorcing that guy, but you don't have to be such a bitch about it.
With an obviously tacked on shot of Tim's face that we're supposed to be taking for something menacing, we then quickly cut to Natalie getting fucked in some bathroom in some bar.
Why? To further establish that both parties in this divorce are intolerable assholes.
Natalie is fundamentally and financially destroying her ex-husband, who wants to spend time with his children, by exercising her rights to make Tim's life a living hell. And here's the kicker. She feels sorry for him.
After fighting with all my spirit, taking everything from my ex, suddenly I felt sorry for him.
Sorry? She feels sorry for him. This has moved past the, oh, I feel so bad for you notions, and just purely became a legal entanglement solely for sadistic value. And also, if you're wondering why I haven't used much footage from the movie itself, well, here's the reason. We never actually see anything this bitch is explaining.
Everything I explained up to this point is strictly narrated exposition. There are no scenes of legal hearings, marriage counseling, any actual lawyer work which this woman claims to be doing, and almost nothing establishing a court's involvement other than a few clumsy lines of dialogue.
10 minutes! 10 minutes she's been babbling on about her shitty marriage and her divorce, and absolutely nothing has happened thus far. Oh, thank fuck!
After that unnecessarily long introduction, we're finally treated to something that remotely resembles a plot device. Natalie's dog disappears, and when she gets back to her house, there's a bloody note with the word DART written on it. So she calls the cops.
But of course.
She claims this to be a murder threat and calls the police over. It is here where she meets a police officer who oddly enough resembles Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Gotta be honest with you. There's not much we can do for you right now.
I understand. I thought it too. But what does DART mean?
Wait. She called the cops because she thought she got a death threat, and she doesn't even know what this word means? How would she know it was a death threat in the first place?
In the time it took for him to call the cops and for them to actually arrive, it's already night. She could have easily Googled the word and confirmed her suspicions with the police in that amount of time, rather than having the police analyze that piece of paper.
The entire movie is filled with stupid plot holes like this, and if I were to pick out and single out every single one of them, we'd be here forever.
One brutally added transition effect later, and we see that Natalie is calling Tim out to have dinner with the kids.
What? I thought she hated his guts! Never mind.
She then meets up with her lawyer in regards with her divorce case. Why doesn't she represent herself in the case is beyond me, and they further discuss how royally fucked Tim is, and they leave.
Time for a Chinatown montage!
Feeling hot, feeling tough, need someone to play around. Good in the mood, want someone to love about.
In a Minsa montage, not Gus Fring calls up and says the word DART is a Persian word for pain, or more accurately, in this case, to inflict pain.
Subtle.
Natalie shows up for dinner and is stood up by Tim, who doesn't show. As she tries to call Tim once again, this happens. It is here where the film's plot kicks into hyperdrive. Tim is seemingly dead and the kids are missing. So what does she do? She calls the cops again. This time with a good reason to do so. Only to have Tim's body disappear into thin air and with no evidence with him ever being there. And the cops don't believe her story. Who would have thought?
Your story.
You mean you don't believe me?
I'm not saying that. I think you need to understand my perspective. This terrace is so clean, we'll never find anything. No prints, no DNA, nothing. Now what we have found, however, are traces of cleaning fluid, and plenty of it.
That was them. Tim said they were after him. They removed all the evidence.
Okay. Now if I may play the skeptic, what you're trying to tell me is, from the time that you called us, the time that we came here, a special forces cleaning crew marched in and removed all traces of the crime.
A cleanup crew? I'm buying that story more than anything at this point. The last time she called them, it took them till nightfall to arrive, and she called in the afternoon. These cops either have the slowest response time ever, or they just don't give a fuck.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Mrs. Stein?
Yes.
Hi, this is Detective Carey.
Do you have my children?
No, not a trace. Do you know anyone from Persia?
No.
Jesus, man. Just because the word is Persian doesn't mean the person after her kids is Persian. Talk about racial profiling.
How often do I have to say this? He's dead. Why can't you get that through your head?
Look, okay. As soon as we find some...
What was that?
Why can't you get that through your head?
Did the soundtrack just give up? That's the first time I heard something like that, or in this case, not heard. Now when I think about it, all the audio in this movie is horribly mastered and edited.
In some scenes, the sound is too loud, you can't even hear any of the dialogue. Things like this are very distracting and very unprofessional.
I figure you noticed by now, Inbok, but get your shit together! Seriously, man, I have a web show on a shoestring budget, and even I'm producing audio levels that are more coherent than your fucking soundtrack.
Well then, Maddie, what's up with those fade in and fade out dissolves? Are those the only transitions you know how to manage effectively?
Jesus, man, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but even I know better than that!
Back to the movie, Natalie's wallowing in pity when a cop enters her house.
My name is Detective Warren.
Yes, I know. Please come in.
So where's your telephone?
Here in the office.
What I'm gonna do is tap your telephone. Put a trace on it. So if anybody calls, we got him.
That's the first legitimate thing the police have done in this movie.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yeah, thank you.
With milk and sugar?
Yes, please.
Really? Really? You tried to pull a jump scare over while making coffee?
Horror movies are seriously running out of steam these days.
The cop then informs Natalie about some information about Tim and that he was involved in interrupting a shady drug deal. How does he know all this? Well, turns out he isn't a cop at all. I mean, he's involved with the drug dealers.
What a shock. I didn't expect to see that at all.
You don't want to piss me off. You got that?
Jesus, man! That's a lot of blood for one single punch!
He then cuffs her and beats the living daylights out of her, as well as cut off a finger and a toe.
Now you tell me the fuck I want to hear!
Or I'm gonna slice you to pieces.
Where are my children?
Damn, this woman's persistent! She's being beaten senseless, and all she has to show for it is her eagerness to know where her kids are!
She shouldn't be awake right now. She should be either passed out from the pain or knocked the fuck out from that vicious of a beating. And as the icing on top of this hilariously bad scene, this guy said he killed her son.
You think I'm bullshitting? You think I'm bullshitting, huh?
That was actually pretty funny.
I might be alone here on this one, but this seriously came out of nowhere, and that man's performance sealed the deal for me.
This is not a horror movie anymore. This is a demented gore farce to see how much blood can be spilled in 86 minutes. There's nothing else from this movie except for copious amounts of blood. There's no real sense of direction, no real story, and there's no real reason for me to give two shits about the characters. I already hate them enough already. I might as well just enjoy it as senseless gore. I'm just gonna sit down, relax, and enjoy the movie for what it is. A senseless gore film. Intrigue me into Bach.